Hi guys, and welcome to a series I'm going to be restarting, which is World Painter. So I'm going to pretty much, because World Painter has changed, and it's been so long since I've used it, I'm going to kind of start from scratch with these tutorials and kind of walk you guys through, walk you guys through the basics, and as I learn new things, I'm also going to be teaching you guys those new things. Because I haven't needed to use it for a while, I'm going to be a bit scratchy, but I'll get through it quite easily. So, firstly, what is World Painter? Let's load it up. I think that's the best thing to do. World Painter is a map creator for Minecraft. I've used it before to make other maps, such as the Isles of Dacros. If I actually can find it, I'll try and load it up, which I should still have it somewhere. Even though it's really old now. I'm actually going to be building a brand new map, so I'm going to be using this as kind of like a example. There you go. World Painter projects files, medieval, and we'll load it up. You can see I based it off Iceland. That's what's Iceland bigger. Actually, let's load it like this Gondor world type thing. There you go. So you can kind of see what you can actually make out of it. Just to give you guys an idea of the whole thing. You can see a 3D view as well. It is a free piece of software. It is absolutely brilliant for free. I do advise you guys having you don't have to have a beefy computer, but I'd say RAM is kind of a big thing on this, especially if you're making very, very big maps. But if you're making small little maps like this one, you're not going to need a lot of RAM. So, firstly, what the hell, or how do I actually even increase my RAM with World Painter? Your RAM bar will be down the bottom here, so if you hover over it, you can see that I've got 169 megs out of 18,000 megabytes. So there's two different ways you can actually change this. If you go grab a file folder thingamajiggy, find it in your installation. So it'll be normally on your C drive on program files, then World Painter, and what you'll see here is a load of other stuff around this. There's something called worldpainter.vm options. If you open up that, what you'll see is a little options thing here. Now my one is actually set to with this value here. You can actually just copy this bit here, and you can just put in. M is megabytes, G is gigabytes, nice and easy for your RAM. It's basically the maximum amount that World Painter is allowed to grab. So think about it that way. It's nice and easy to kind of think about that. Mine's actually set to 63,000. I've actually got 64 gigs of RAM on my system. World Painter, when it starts up, should automatically grab as much as it can grab. But you'll notice that in my game, it's limited. So you might come across this, okay? It's nice and easy to fix, so I'm going to actually show you guys if you ever do come across this, because there wasn't anything on the internet for it. If you actually just hit the start bar, I am in Windows 10, and if you just do Advanced System Settings, so if you just start typing in Advanced, it will come up with View Advanced System Settings. If you click on that, I don't know where it is. There it goes there. Start behind for some reason. You'll see this kind of like System Properties here. You can go on to Environment Variables, and you'll see one called Java Options, and it's exactly the same kind of script that we've got here. And you can see that mine is set to 20 gig, so 20,000, 2040, 20480. Sorry guys, I can't read. So you can actually just edit that value, change it, whatever. This is because I do my own modding and stuff like that. You can see like I've got the JDK, for example, so I've actually set that as a Java Options. So that is a what's called an environmental or global variable, just in case you guys aren't aware. So that's why mine doesn't pick it up from that file. If you just got a normal PC, it'll just pick it up from that file, and next time you restart, it will actually have that. A couple of things that you can actually do, which are kind of cool, is actually you can change the preferences. And if you have a look down here, there's different visual themes. You can change that. So Dark Nimbus. Actually, I don't like Dark Nimbus that much. I'm not keen on it. But I quite like Dark Metal. So if we just close that and restart it. I can close that as well. There we go. You can see that there's a lot of different like styles. I quite like the Dark Metal one. I'm probably going to do the tutorials in the Dark Metal one. So, other basics, there's something called custom brushes. Custom brushes are going to be probably one of the most important things that you'll ever use in World Painter. So I'll show you guys how to load them. I've actually unloaded mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys basically this brushes pack that I've got. Now, one thing to note about brushes is you can put them into different folders and they will sort themselves out inside of that. See, I've got some really weird height maps here. Height maps, like for example, oops, that's appeared on the other screen. This is Ireland. Oh, that's Ireland. So that's a very, very strange height map. There's all the other ones as well. There's like I don't know where the hell that is, actually. God knows where that is, but I've got some very, very strange ones. I'm just going to package up all of these for you guys. So we've got a hill mound, mountain range, mountain terrace, noise, river, tall mountain. I've never used the river one, not properly anyway. Tall mountain ones are pretty good, and the hill mound ones are pretty good as well. So how do we actually load these in? If you guys hit your start button again, this should work on any of them, and you might need to open up a command window. Not really a command window, but you know what I mean. If you just do %app data, not data, because I'm English rather than American, and if you do, yeah, basically %app data % or app data % and press enter, what you'll get, and if you're used to Minecraft, you'll see the .minecraft. If you scroll down to World Painter, you'll see a big folder here, and all you do is you just drag and drop. That's it. And then if you close that, close down. You have to close down World Painter. You'll get used to this. A lot of the changes with World Painter need you to unload and reload. But what that should do, here we go. You can see it now. So right on the side, I've got a load of these things called custom brushes. So there's my custom brushes inside here. That was on the top level. So again, if I go away, if I go back to my desktop and I have a look at brushes, was it brushes? Must have been. Oh God, I can't find it. It's right here. I copied over the folder. That's fine. Oh, God damn it. This is typical, isn't it? Move it over, and now I can't find it. Right, if I show you guys again. So what that'll do is all of these ones just get shoved into custom brushes. All of these ones get given their own folder, okay? Now it's quite good to keep everything. I'm just going to package those up. So you'll see like here, we've got like hill mound, mountain range, my mountain terraced, and noise. Noise I don't really use, river, and tall mountain and stuff like that. So you can pretty much do that, and you've got your normal brushes at the top. Right, so pretty easy to be honest. Let's have a look. There we go. Raise. So I'm not used to this color yet. You've got a load of different things. You can literally just click and pretty much just make some stuff. There's a lot of these options. The best thing I would say to do is to mess around, honestly, because it's one of those programs that you kind of have to mess around in. I'm actually going to switch, as crazy as it sounds, even though I like the dark metal, I'm going to switch back to system. I'm so used to it, that's the problem. Right, don't save that. Open it up again. Go back into World Painter. Let this load up. And I'll go through a couple of the basic options. There we go. This is the World Painter I know and love. So, saving your projects. You get two different types of files in a way. You've got your project file, which will be used for World Painter. You can see that here I've just got one gigantic folder called Medieval. This is absolutely not how you do it. So I've split mine into Medieval and Modern, and I've just got a big folder and it's just filled with rubbish. I don't actually recommend doing that. I would say create subfolders inside everything, keep it all fresh, and instead of having like stuff like Iceland bigger 1, 2, 3, just have all that in one folder. See here, I had something called Mystery at some point, which I never got around to finishing, but pretty simple. Just save them. That'll be what you open up. If you wanted to export a Minecraft map, actually we'll go over that in a second. I think we will definitely go over that in a second. So let's go through the actual options. Spray paint, that's a new one, but most likely that'll be something to do with you'll be able to click on your terrain. Say for example, let's go for permadirt, and yeah, it'll just spray. That's pretty self-explanatory. So that'll give you like a different type of options. Now, one thing to note is that all of your options that you have down on the right-hand side, you'll have all the different stuff, like intensity, for example, is one that you should play with. There you go. So you get less of that. Let's actually zoom in. There you go. So you can get less. Turn up the intensity. You're going to get more of a solid brush. Pretty simple. I don't want to go out that much. Zoom back in. There you go. Not that far, though. Also got pencil, so that's draw dots and straight lines. That's kind of cool. Oh yeah, I remember that one. So that's just like drawing normal lines, nice and easy. See, pretty good. To talk you guys through a couple of these extra options, I think what we'll have to do is create a mountain. So first things first, I'm going to grab this pencil brush. If you use the mouse wheel, you'll see that you can get bigger brushes. Now, as you can see, I've just lagged out quite a lot. So if you're going to use a big brush, don't drag, for God's sake. It like almost does what World Edit used to do, and it just lags out. But if you just click, it's absolutely fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this height one here, and this will give you a very, very horrible hill type of thing. There we go. So if we get a hill like this, it doesn't look great. If we have a look on view and then go to show 3D view, give you a 3D preview, and there you go. See that I've just made this like mountain. Well, it's not really a mountain, it's just a blob. So you can make a blob if you wanted to do that. Using our custom brushes. This is something new with the weird triangle. I'll read up on that and try and get you guys some stuff. But you can just click on the random brushes. So there we go. Let's go with island. Islands now come into play. That's going to look hideous. There we go. It's made some real big blobs there. That's going to look terrible on the actual map, but you can zoom that up. If you've got two screens, by the way, guys, I advise having this on another screen, and I don't as well. It can slow up your building kind of stuff. There you go, got that. So if we raise that one up, you've got flatten, which this will work. Now, if you're going to do flatten, make sure you're using one of the default brushes, otherwise it will use the brush that you've got selected. So if, for example, we wanted to flatten out the island that we got here, now down the bottom, okay, it's really difficult to show you, down here is the actual height of the block. So that's in Minecraft out of 255. So if we just flatten that out, and I can do it quite softly because I've got the intensity down, like that. So there we go, let's just kind of flatten that out. You can also use smooth. Smooth is kind of good. Smooth will just take those rough edges off, really. Sometimes you want the rough edges, sometimes you don't, and it'll just... I do advise using a little bit of it because it makes it look a little bit more natural usually, unless you need a rugged looking frame, I guess. Especially with cliffs, you would not want to use smooth on, for example. So, you know, kind of have a look at what you guys are going to be needing. If we now raise a mountain, got a feeling this is absolutely horrible as a mountain. As a default tool, I'm not that keen on it. Like, if you go around here, all right. Okay, so that. If we keep on going, now you'll notice that it's already turned to dirt, right? I'm actually going to whack up the intensity on this to speed it up, like, majorly. Because it's just showing you guys the tool, and I'm also going to increase the brush. There you go. What you'll notice is that we've got a dirt layer, right? And now we've got, like, a rocky layer. If we keep going, we'll get a snow layer. Okay. So you guys might be like, whoa, how does that actually work? And if we have a look at that in 3D view, you'll see a pretty cone-like mountain. Not really a real mountain. So this will be set depending on the different height maps that you get. So, or not height maps, but the different heights that you've actually got. So we've got a mix of different materials in here. That is done on, if I can remember right, if you go into Edit and you go into Dimension Properties, what you'll see is you get this underground materials, a stone mix. That's cool. But if you go into Default Terrain and Layers, you'll see that at level 0 we get grass. 127 we get dirt, and then 159 we get rock, and then 223 we get deep snow. That's actually pretty good, actually, 223. So you get about 25 layers of snow. That's pretty fair. So how do you add these in? Really, really easy. You've got an add button down here. If we just add it in, for example, if we wanted, if it's really, really low down, we wanted something like granite, for example, right? And if we use the level, so if we do level 10, so that means that really, really low down stuff. Actually, let's do 20. Let's do up to 20. Right? So if we put in 20, that'll just reposition itself in here. So that means that right at the bottom, for some reason, we've got grass. This is actually going to look really weird if we applied it on default. Actually, that is going to look very, very weird. Actually, I'll show you what it looks like with it being weird. So we've got grass right at the bottom. When it's that's 0 to 20 to 19 will be grass. 20 to 159 will be granite. So that's going to look very, very strange. Then above that will be dirt. So what we can do... Oops. Same levels. Oh yeah, I can see what I've done there. That's not good. Right, let's just do that down to... It's because I, for some reason, edited that. Just do OK. You'll notice that that hasn't applied anything. If we actually grab, for example, the pencil, just click on any terrain, and if we right-click, right-clicking applies the default terrain, okay? So what we get is this really horrible blobby thing here. But if you've got a really big map and you did decide to change these defaults, that's going to take ages. What you can instead do is if you go onto Edit and you go onto Global Operations, you can actually do Reset Terrain to Default and just go, and then it's done. So it will actually be able to reset its default. You'll notice we've got a couple of these sandy bits. That's actually set if we go back onto Dimension Properties. Those sandy bits are done by beaches around the water level, which is 62. If we get rid of that, and noisy edges if we get rid of that, and if we now do the global operation again, it'll get rid of that. There you go. So you can kind of see what happens there. Also notice we've got some pockets of water, so if we go onto the raise and lower terrain, and I'm actually going to use a custom brush, just any of them really. There we go. I'm going to make like this watery bit over here. You can see that that water's just appearing and it's automatically filling. It's really useful. That again on Dimension Properties, you will see on General, and I might as well talk a little bit through this. So the top layer minimum depth, actually to be honest, this you just like play around with. And underground material as well, play around with that. You can do the resources as a different layer. Don't worry about switching this into resources. So, right, so bottomless world as well, that's pretty obvious. That just means there's no bedrock layer. The ceiling height, you'll notice that that's locked to 259. I can't remember, 256. If you've got some mods, you can change that essentially. Border, that's just the edge of the map. I usually do water. I just find it easier, and then you get a border size that you can actually set in multiples of 128. Yeah, I usually do water because most of my maps are islands, so I just get the water level to be... it just goes around the extra bit of the map in case people travel, and then I can just set a world border as a plugin and actually stop people from going past that. Notice that you got the water or lava level. You can change that if you guys want to. That seems to be on the border part of it though, I think. It's weird, isn't it? You used to be able to just change that. But if you click on that, you seem to be able to change that and then go back to normal border, and that should do it. And if we do... I just want to see if this works or not. So, I'm being honest. No, it didn't. Okay, that's weird. So where the hell is that default gone then? It used to be on this. Anyway, let's keep on going. So, Minecraft seed, you do get like a Minecraft seed value. You're making a custom map, don't worry about it. Bedrock wall as well. Guessing that's for the borders? That would be weird. Default terrain and layers we just went over, so that's pretty nice and easy. You also get layers. I haven't even looked at that yet, but that looks very, very cool. I will see how powerful that is and give you guys a tutorial on that. Caverns and chasms. This is like the default Minecraft one, so caverns are the kind of like caves you find. Chasms are those gigantic rifts that almost rip through. You can actually do these and set them to go anywhere. I think you can also actually set them up so that they can be in specific places where you want them to. Like caverns break surface and chasms break the surface as well, so that's like the ones that cut through. Flood the caverns and chasms as well, so you can actually flood them. Typically I don't use this because my custom maps I do my own cave layers, which we can do, which is really cool, which we're going to go into. Resources, if you guys are building a survival map, this is really, really useful. If you're not, you can save yourself a teeny tiny bit of rendering. It's mainly in the rendering time of when you're actually creating your map for like the final version of it. It also, I have read that it's less laggy if you don't have any resources. But if you're going to make this for survival, you want to have ores down in the bottom, so you want to be able to use it for survival as well, then definitely pay attention to the screen, and you're going to be using it everywhere. So resources everywhere, makes sense. Or you could have, I think again you can paint them, pretty sure you can. You can select the occurrence of like stuff like gold, iron, coal, lapis, diamonds, emeralds, and all of that kind of stuff. You can even select the layer that it will appear at. So it makes complete sense. So you get the levels and stuff like that. So yeah, water as well. Yeah, water, lava, dirt, gravel, redstone, quartz, all that kind of stuff you can set. So it's nice and easy. Other layers allow Minecraft to populate the terrain. That will shove its trees on it. I don't advise doing that because then you get the default trees. Same with the forests everywhere, pine forests everywhere, swampland everywhere, all that kind of stuff. You can kind of click those. Frost everywhere as well. I do advise having smooth snow, which or smooth snow. Basically, when you do the snow layer, just like you have like snow that falls and it turns into that layer rather than a block. That'll mean that it goes underneath trees and stuff. Actually, no, that option's frost underneath trees. It's awesome, really, really good. The export, the annotations as coloured wool, I will show you guys that. Actually, I can show you guys that now. If you tick that one, I'll show you what this is used for. It's mainly useful for modern types. Well, I found it useful. I've used it for modern to map out roads and stuff like that. You could also use it for medieval without a problem. Right, first things first, we're going to go through a couple more of the options. So we've got that raised mountain. We're going to go on to spawn. I'm going to shove the spawn down there. And global operations, that's the one I showed you before. That'll just open up this. It's nice and quick. You can do loads of stuff here, and we're going to be using the power of that loads. Pyramids, I honestly have never used these. They're kind of cool. They're kind of not. Like, it's just a pyramid, really. There's nothing more to it. But, yeah, it's just a nightmare. When you start clicking on it, then you have to find the pixel that you used before. There you go. So we're going to have a ginormous pyramid. Down the bottom, you can see that that's up to height 158. So we're going to go up a little bit higher. And I just pressed right-click a couple times, didn't I? And that's cut through it a little bit. I might have done a reverse pyramid. I think I actually did do it. Yeah, it just did cut through it a little bit. So that's a bit weird. But yeah, we've got a pyramid that's almost the same size as that. I'm not too keen on that option. I don't really use it. What we've got down the side, yeah, layers. We'll kind of go through that again another time. So you've got frost. This is what I was saying about you could paint them rather than saying do them everywhere. So frost, you could then paint some frost. That's not frost. That's show and solo. If we go on to pen, sorry. If you go onto the pen, then click on frost, and you can put some frost down. Caverns and stuff, you can put those down. Yeah, chasms, put those down. Got some trees will spawn there. The deciduous, that's the oak trees. I don't know why I said deciduous. Why did I say it weird? I don't know. Swamp, let's put some swamp here. Jungle, let's put some jungle over here. Void, that's to do with long drop into nothingness. We're not going to use that. Resources, we could shove some there. Populate, just make stuff. Read only as well. Those, yeah, they can't be changed with merge, and that's to do with something else entirely that we'll get into. And you can create your own custom object layer. It's brilliant, really. The terrain ones, like I kind of showed you guys, you can pretty much just click and color. It's pretty simple like that. Flowing water, we're going to do something horrible there. Really horrible. You can set up your own ones as well on the custom terrain. These are brilliant, so you can like create custom material, import from file, import from another world, all of that kind of stuff. Biomes as well, you can paint your own biomes. It does get messy. As you can see, like when we started to do some stuff here, actually probably want that desert, don't we? Yeah, let's make that desert. There you go, so we've got that as desert here. It does start to get very, very messy as you keep on going. But what we're going to have a look at is annotations now that we're going through that. So annotations allows you to essentially write onto a map. So nice and easy. So if we go for intensity of 100, because it doesn't really matter that much. And I'm going to use a square brush. And I'm going to use it with a hard edge like this. So I'm just going to say hi. Okay, so we can just use something like that. The other thing we can use it for, of course, is stuff like roads. So if you wanted a road like that, but you didn't want to actually put the physical materials down because you didn't know what materials you're going to use or whatever. But you knew that you wanted a road or path through like a gigantic map. So you had a huge map and you could map it all out, and then you were just going to use world edit and mask this material, which these are all the different types of wool. So this will be orange wool 35:1. You could do that, so that's kind of cool for that. Right, so now we've got our map. We've spent tons of time on it. How do we actually get it into Minecraft? What you do is you do File, and then you do Export. Export as new Minecraft map, and it will ask you where you want to put it. In my case, my Minecraft is in the D drive.minecraft saves and generated world. We don't call that. We're going to call it YouTube. Please kill me, because it's a terrible map. You'll get a load of export options. One of the things you can do, especially when you're using a gigantic map, is instead of doing export everything, do export selected tiles. This will bring you up with an option, so that means you'd only export these. If your spawn, which is the red X, is not in this, it'll come up with a kind of like when you try to do export. I'm pretty sure it comes up with there you go. Do you want to change the spawn point type of thing? So you try and do it, but it goes, well, actually you're gonna spawn outside of it. You sure you want to do that? So if you're doing like a test on a little map, you only wanted this bit, then change your spawn to one of these. It makes sense, really. What we're actually going to do, though, is we're going to select all tiles. We're actually going to do export everything, because we might as well. Structures as well, you can choose if Minecraft will generate structures. I always turn that off. You can even choose the default difficulty. I always allow cheats because I do survival. And the mode, I would switch to creative because that's what I play in. I always take away the include chest of goodies, but it allows you to do a lot of stuff. And usually my world type, I do large biomes because I do think that my world has got large biomes, I guess. So anyway, that'll give us that. You can also do a load of the other stuff like resources, blah, 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 blah. There's loads and loads of different stuff. I'm not sure about these custom layers yet, but it looks awesome. I'm guessing that's just a wicked feature. So if we just click export, it'll do this. This is really new, by the way. It used to just be one bar and you never used to know how long it was actually going to take. This is much more flashy. In the meantime, while it's doing that, I'm going to load up my Minecraft. There we go, it's exported. So, YouTube, please kill me. Right, play. I'm going to log in. I'm not going to show you that. Okie dokie, so after a little bit of time, I finally remembered my username and password. Mainly the password. But what we do is we go on to single player, and guess what? That one right there, YouTube, please kill me. That is my one. So version is unknown. That's fine. Who cares? If you just do play, what you'll see, we're going to see such a horrible map. I know we're going to see such a horrible map. Here is my first World Painter map in a very long time. So you can see the mountain does not look realistic. We're going to be doing a lot more realistic stuff like that than that in the future. But it gives you kind of an idea. Here you go. You can see the frost layer, for example. That should, I think normally that does do the biome as well, doesn't it? Yeah, so biome is ice plains. Pretty much sets it automatically. This is plains, for example. We've got the... How do I go fast? There we go. That one. Got the gigantic pyramid over here. You can see the different types of forest that have actually generated. It doesn't matter that it's not on grass or anything like that. It will just kick it up. So we've got different forests there and there. What else we got? What's over here? What the hell happened over here? Did I do like random spots of stuff? I must have done. Ah, that's the resources. So those are resources cutting through. There you go. You can see like the default Minecraft water rubbish. I don't like it anyway. That's why I think it's rubbish. It's those right there. I don't know how that grass has survived. Oh, okay, there's a little bit of dirt there. So yeah, you guys can like mess around with this. You can see the water border as well, and you can see high being written. Now that's actually raised up one as well, so that's interesting. I think you can make it so that it goes down. You can do. I'm pretty sure you can. So that's just added an extra layer on top, so it doesn't affect the terrain below. Kind of makes sense. You also see that gigantic cobblestone bit I've got over there. God, I'm going as fast as I can. It's actually a big map, but this will go kind of give you. This is more of like a reintroduction, I guess, into World Painter and stuff like that. So I'm going to read up about a couple of the tools. I'm going to have a play around with a couple other bits. Enjoy the brushes and give those a go, guys. One of the things about the smooth snow is that it will try and smooth it out. So like even here, you can see it does. It does an amazing job at it. I have no idea how the dude that scripted World Painter made it so good on this. And one thing you can see is like by painting water, look at the mess that we've created. So that's why you don't paint water just directly on top. There you go. There's a little jungle. So. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this tutorial anyway. Hopefully it's given you guys a kind of introduction to it. I'm going to be making a map, so I'm going to be doing some small videos, some big videos, and all that kind of stuff. There you can see the swamp on the whole World Painter thing, and kind of going through how you guys create a map as I create a map as well. So hopefully this helped you guys. If there's anything in particular that you guys want help with, please do comment. That'd be awesome. Tell you guys what you want to actually see. That'd be wicked. That'd really help me out. So God, I hate this auto jump thing as well in 1.10. Really hate it. I mean, it gets really annoying when you're trying to walk through a structure like this. So, but how long was that? But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see out of this series. And yeah, guys, I will see you on the next one.